Hey guys, welcome back. We are back with some more Paladin Strike. In this video, we are going to talk about DAMBA, and we're going to go over his skills and basically explain how DAMBA works and make sure you understand his kit before you start playing him. Now, I'm using the practice mode to do so. Looking at his skills, his basic attack is called Spitting Cobra. Every 0.8 seconds, fires a spread of 3 globs of venom forward, each dealing 200 damage when hitting enemies. Now there's a bonus damage on this. DAMBA throws a Spitting Cobra forward when his ammo recovers from 0 to 1. The enemy hit by the snake takes damage and is stunned. Now that is a neat mechanic built in, and I will show you that and talk about that in just a second. His first ability is Mending Spirits, got a 6-second cooldown on it. This summons a spirit to heal the closest ally for 1200 health over 4 seconds. His next ability is Gourd, which has a 16-second cooldown. Movement speed is increased by 50%, and DAMBA leaves behind a trail of venom when moving that restores 400 health to allies every second and deals 400 damage to enemies every second, and it lasts for 5 seconds. And lastly, he has his ultimate is Dread Serpent. Fire a dark vessel that explodes when it lands and fears enemies on impact for 4 seconds. Now, let's take a look at all of his abilities. We just went over, and we'll start with his basic attack. So his basic attack, it fires 3 gourds out. So you're not going to be doing too much damage with his basic attack, but watch. Did you see that stun? That came from, like it said in the description, when it reloads from 0 to 1, wherever he's facing, he is going to spit out a snake. And he's going to be able to stun that opponent, and he's going to do damage. So bam, we stunned it. That is just something that's built into DAMBA that you need to utilize. It's huge, and it can be a game changer. So DAMBA, you're not going to be really more or less doing damage with your basic attacks. You're going to want to utilize that right there the most. So make sure you are always using the basic attacks to get those down to help your team out with those stuns, because they can come in really clutch. Now for his first ability, the heal. All right, so let's get some of these guys up. See if we can get some of them to take damage. All right, here we go. The range on this thing is pretty large, and it shoots it out. It's basically a heal over time. So do be aware of that. It's not a large heal or anything like that. And it is going to hit the closest person to you, as it says in the description, the closest ally for 1200 health. And some of us feel like this thing might change. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more directional, where kind of you could just drag it out towards the person you want to heal instead of actually it targeting, auto targeting. But we'll see what they do with that. Moving on to the next one, we have Gourd. Gourd's really cool. So what you do is you hit it, you speed up, and you leave behind this green trail. You see it does damage there, and also it will do healing. So if I were to take damage there, I can also run back through that myself and get healing from it. So we got Gourd back on cooldown. Let's save this guy right here. You're gonna run into him, it's gonna heal. Run in circles around to heal them, and you could leave it behind to do damage to other people. You see it's doing 200 damage. Now that's every half a second. It's 1 second that it does 400, which is as it reads in the description. You say it restores 400 and deals 400 damage to enemies. So it's actually every half second that it ticks for DAMBA. So do be aware of that. And lastly, for his abilities, we have his ultimate. Is a targetable type ultimate, similar to like what Pip has, but it's really cool. It's basically a Pip ultimate that makes people run in fear. Now they can't do anything, the enemies can't move, so this guy can come in really clutch with team fights, heals, support, and he can put damage out and clutch people with stuns from the 0 to 1 reload option on his abilities. So be sure you're utilizing all of this. Now looking at his augments, and they're still called talents right here, they haven't changed that. But these are actually called augments. These are what you're leveling up during the match. His first level, he has a movement speed increase of 20% or CC reduction by 50%. Now, that's going to be situational. If you have a lot of people that have stuns or CC, you're going to want to go with that CC reduction, especially being a healer. For his level 2, ability cooldowns reduced by 20% or gain 25% basic attack damage reduction. For me, that's kind of a no-brainer. I'm most of the time going to go with the ability cooldowns to get those heals back, because that's going to be crucial to team fights for sure. Level 3 basic attacks deal 40% more damage or gain 20% area damage reduction. You're not going to be doing too much with the basic attacks unless you don't actually have enemies that are doing a lot of area damage. Then you could go with the basic attacks that deal more damage, and you could effectively do more damage with them. For level 4, shield and healing increase by 30% or a max health increase by 35%. Now, if you're not really struggling keeping your team up, you can go with the max health, but if your team is taking a lot of damage, you're going to want to pick up that shield and healing increase by 30%, because that's going to allow you to heal for a lot more. And lastly, ultimate charge is 200% faster or a critical chance increase by 40%. I would most of the time recommend you to go with the ultimate charge is 200% faster, just for the fact of that ultimate can be a game changer. Once you throw that thing out and it actually connects with those guys, it's going to fear them, and it's going to basically change the outcome of the game for you. And we get these guys to reset right here. This is pretty much everything in Maldamba's kit. If you have any questions about Maldamba, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, guys. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Like I said, if you don't understand anything or if you have any questions about him, don't be afraid to ask. I'll try to get and reply to every one of these comments. So do so if you have any questions. Also, guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, leave a like on this video. It all helps us out a lot. But with that being said, folks, thank you again so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. I am Soul Bash. You guys have a nice day.